Good morning. On Tuesday, on an overwhelming vote of 395 to 4, Congress passed the bipartisan Ocean Pollution Reduction Act Part 2. I introduced OPRA 2 with Representatives Susan Davis and Duncan Hunter in 2019 to support the dual goals of increasing freshwater supply to the region and reducing the amount of treated wastewater discharged into the Pacific Ocean from the Point Loma wastewater treatment plant. Water has always been in short supply in Southern California. Now, statewide drought conditions, exacerbated by climate change, population growth, and historical overdrafting of water resources have made meeting our water challenges here a permanent challenge. During my first year on the San Diego City Council in the early 2000s, coming up on 20 years ago, by the way, many viewed water recycling with skepticism. Even though all water is recycled, opponents at the time dubbed it toilet to tap. It took another 8 years and great leadership from the people standing with me today before the plan with a more accurate moniker, the Pure Water Program, was approved by the City Council. And today, Pure Water has widespread support from elected leaders, environmental advocates, and state regulators. For 57 years, the City of San Diego has treated the region's sewage through the Point Loma plant. It's a chemically enhanced primary treatment facility that treats wastewater to a level that can be discharged into the ocean without harming the environment. Now, the Clean Water Act generally requires sewer systems to implement a secondary level of treatment. However, scientists at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography have long said that forcing San Diego ratepayers to pay billions of dollars to upgrade the Point Loma facility to a secondary level would be a waste of money, because the enhanced advanced treatment that the plant currently provides, along with its 4.5-mile long outfall, does not harm the ocean environment. In fact, the construction of a new facility along the coastline could do more harm than good. For these reasons, San Diego has been allowed to avoid building a new facility through a federal waiver process at a cost of millions of dollars every 5 years. Under OPRA 2, the City of San Diego will have to demonstrate that the Pure Water Program can produce 83 million gallons a day of water through water recycling by 2036. That's estimated 1/3 of the entire city's drinking water needs. Over the same period, the program is expected to reduce pollution discharge at Point Loma by over 100 million gallons. We've been working closely with California senators to shepherd the bill through the other chamber of Congress and onto the president's desk to be signed. We believe our chances are good. If you look at the vote we got, there's not a lot of controversy about that. And we're committed to working up until the last minute to ensure that this crucial legislation becomes law. I want to thank Mayor Kevin Faulconer in his last week for his leadership, or his last weeks, for his leadership, and his team and him for their partnership. And we would not have accomplished this without the support of organizations like the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce and San Diego Coastkeeper and others. Jerry Sanders, who also deserves credit in moving this along while he was mayor, is here representing the chamber, and Matt O'Malley is from Coastkeeper. First, we're going to hear from Mayor Kevin Faulconer.
Good morning. Thank you to all of us, all of you, and thank you particularly to Congressman Scott Peters for his strong leadership. 20 years, wow, it goes quick. But Congressman, your support, your leadership on championing this bill in Capitol Hill has been incredibly invaluable for our city and for our region. That's how important pure water is. For San Diegans, the goal obviously is to leave behind a cleaner, greener planet for future generations. It's more than just a passion, of course, for San Diegans, it's a way of life. That is why we embarked on a climate action plan in 2015, and now just 5 years later, we are well on our way to meeting our very ambitious goals. That's because we took a hard look on where we were and where we were lacking and where we could do better. Water independence and water security came up as a top priority. And today, of course, we are pleased to be here to highlight the Ocean Pollution Reduction Act 2, or OPRA 2, as a very pivotal piece of legislation for the city of San Diego. This bill delivers a really innovative solution to one of our city's most complex dilemmas by simplifying the permitting process to operate Point Loma wastewater treatment plant. And this is a bill, as Congressman Peters just mentioned, that enjoys overwhelming bipartisan support in the House of Representatives. Not always easy to do these days. For decades, the Point Loma facility has treated our region's wastewater to a level that can be discharged into the ocean without causing harm. And for long, as many of us can remember, the city of San Diego has been asked every few years to apply for a new modified permit for the plant. We needed that modified permit to avoid upgrading the plant to secondary treatment, which, as we've been discussing, would have cost taxpayers more than $2 billion without a single extra drop of water being produced for our region. The regulatory certainty that this bill delivers is an absolute game changer. This bill resolves the challenge by deeming the outfall discharge from the plant as equivalent to secondary treatment. And under, of course, the condition that the city produces 83 million gallons of clean and reliable water a day by 2035 under the Pure Water program. Pure Water is all about planning for a sustainable future as the largest infrastructure project in our city's history. It completely transforms the city's water system to maximize the use of our most precious resource, water. And it uses proven technology, of course, to clean recycled water into safe, high-quality drinking water. Yes, we have gone through a lot over the last several decades to get to the point where we are and get to San Diego to be not only statewide but nationwide leaders in recycled water. So after record-breaking droughts and the economic turmoil brought on by the scarcity of water, every San Diegan knows just how vital water really is to the success of our regional economy. And this innovative recycling program, once fully built out, about 15 years from now, will deliver 1/3 of our city's entire water supply. 1/3 of our city's water supply. And of course, it'll help insulate us from costly water shortages with a locally controlled, independent water supply. To be here and to be talking about this would probably have been impossible to imagine just a decade ago. And it took the great many partners that you see here this morning and many others to make this happen. Again, to Congressman Peters, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your leadership and pushing so hard for us in Washington, D.C. San Diego is pleased to see the overwhelming support for this legislation in the House, and it will allow us to take this next major step forward to the Climate Action Plan and our investment in pure water. This represents the best of our region, and I'm confident that we will get this across the finish line. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we'll hear from Jerry Sanders, the President and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Our former mayor, I said, deserves a lot of credit for keeping this moving during our 20-year work on it.
Thank you, Scott. I'm not going to repeat everything that the congressman and the mayor just said. This gives business certainty. Business needs certainty to thrive, and with water reliability in the future coming from this, it's just an absolutely stunning event. I guess I'm kind of struck by the fact that when I was mayor, we actually fought with Coast Keeper all the time over the waivers. And actually, Coast Keeper came up with the idea to do a lot of these things. We had them in the works, but they were willing partners in that. And I guess I'm finding that the business community and the environmental community have been working much more closely as we start addressing a lot of those issues. And I think it's benefited all the San Diegans. I want to thank Congressman Peters. Our entire congressional delegation has been working on this for a long time, and it simply would not have gotten done without Scott pushing. And I'd also like to thank Mayor Faulkner and his team. This is a great day, and it's a great solution that makes a lot of sense for everybody. So thank you to all of you who've done so much work on this.
Thank you, Jerry. Now the Executive Director of San Diego Coastkeeper, Matt O'Malley. Matt.
Thank you. On behalf of San Diego Coastkeeper, I want to first thank Congressman Peters for all the outstanding work in getting this passed through the House, really by an overwhelming margin, and through what we know is a very challenging federal legislative scenario. So we greatly appreciate all your leadership on this project and environmental issues in general in our region. I also want to offer my heartfelt thanks to Mayor Faulkner, who, for your leadership through your entire tenure working on the Pure Water project. We are greatly appreciative and really advancing the cooperative agreement that we have with the City of San Diego, and also to Jerry Sanders for very kind words. Yes, with the environment and economy working and business groups working together is the only way we'll get this and other projects like it done to benefit our region. For us, the legislation really is a critical step towards significant reduction of wastewater discharges into our ocean to protect our coastal and marine environment. But also at the same time, as Mayor Faulkner alluded to, it's going to provide climate resilience here in San Diego, ensuring water security while in the face of a changing climate and in face of increasing pressures on our existing water supplies. I think with this bill, the Congressman really showed that it's possible to really bridge a partisan gap, especially when there are vital water infrastructure projects at stake, like here in Pure Water. We very much hope that the Senate will follow suit and build upon this success and pass this extremely important bill. And so once again, I want to thank Congressman Peters, Mayor Faulkner, Jerry Sanders, and we really look forward to the Senate passing this bill and this project becoming a reality. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it. We were available for questions or one-on-ones. All right. Well, I mean, we've been working on it for a long time. Part of it was getting the agreement from the environmental community on what they would want us to do. The city, I made a point of saying I never thought that the outfall was harming the environment, but the environmental groups always demanded more from us. And rather than waste a lot of money doing something that really wouldn't do a lot of good, we were able to come to an agreement on something that would reduce ocean pollution while it still created more water supply. And it seemed like a win-win. So it just took a long time for that agreement to develop. And I think also the Pure Water program has been on its own track, coming along to a point where it's matured, it's proven itself. Now we know we can depend on it. So this was the time. No. No, it's funny. It's because we all in my office said we were laughing at what the guy from Virginia and Kentucky had against this, but we don't know. San Diego, yep. So what we're hoping for is that in the midst of this, we only have a few weeks left for Congress. We know that Senator McConnell still wants to get more judges approved, and that legislation's not high on his agenda. We're hoping that in the next couple weeks it can be hotlined, which is a way the Senate can do this unanimously without debate. Given the overwhelming support we saw in the House, that we have a shot, and we'll work with the senators to see that happens. Well, yeah, we'd have to reintroduce it next year, but again, I think we've shown that it's not going to be very controversial. So let's try to get it done this month, but we're very close to getting it done, and we're confident that we will. Does need the president's signature. Again, I don't see any reason why he would object to signing this.